I don't understand why other girls think it's okay to hate on other girls for doing things. I can see where it stems from, and it's obviously
what things you need to be.
Okay, basically put it this way, like, I see other girls walking on the street and they're like, look at the top, man, it's so low, she's such a slut. In my head, I'm like, that's got nothing to do with you. In my head, I'm like, you didn't want to wear that top, so you didn't wear that top. But she wants to wear that top, and she's wearing that top.
I think it's wholly unacceptable for any woman to hate on another woman because of the way that she looks. Like, you do get women who be like, oh, she's a slut, she's a whore. No, that doesn't make you a slut or a whore. What makes you a slut or a whore are your actions, not what you're wearing. So women need to really come out of that mentality.
I see too many females hating on other females as if they're fucking their mothers. I have a problem with that.
In this country, I think naturally people are a little bit more sensitive to sex, so people will comment on it. For example, booty shaking event at Jump Off, you're gonna get some people that are gonna be like, oh my god, look at her, I can't believe she did this, I can't believe she did that. Whereas I reckon in a lot of other countries, they just see it for what it is. You're still gonna get little bits of hate.
I'm not really one to say, you know, what's she doing that for, what's she doing that for. The girls who got up on stage and showed their boobs, do what you're doing at the end of the day. You're your own person, you're probably having fun. Like, on the other hand, I completely understand with the female who is upset with that. I don't particularly care about other girls, what they're doing, what they're not wearing, what they're wearing and all the rest of it. If I see someone's got a nice pair of shoes, I'm not going to comment because I like her pair of shoes. If I think that her shoes are outrageous and I'd never wear those, I might comment and say, wow, look at her shoes. I'll probably never wear those. But it's just a thing of you wear what you wear to look nice, and people are going to comment. But when it comes to people stripping and people broadcasting themselves, I'm not really that bold, but I can understand why other females who are been working their ass off to get the respect and to do what they're trying to do without taking their clothes off and without using just how they look and just their naked bodies to do that, I can understand why they would get offended, because they've worked their asses off for the respect that the females on the stage may be stripping that respect apart.
As Jade made a point downstairs in regards to the workplace, it's increasingly difficult to try and make it in the workplace if you are going in there and falling into the trap of old ideals of how certain men think about women. So if you go there dressed inappropriately, then how are you going to be taken seriously?
But I'm saying, why is that taken away from you, ambitious lady, though?
He's talking about the industry specifically. When it's an industry that is very much dominated by men, and men's mentality, as you spoke about in the last debate, saying that we need to understand how men think. We understand how men think, which is why when you get a girl that comes along and she does stupid shit to make a man continue thinking certain ways about female, it makes it harder for us.
I understand what you mean when you say it's making things harder, but I don't think you should look at things like that. It's like me saying to you now, that all the black guys on the blocks selling drugs now, that's making it harder for me to fucking do something with my life. It's not. If you have ambition or you want to get somewhere in life, or you have goals, you just want to achieve those goals regardless of what fucking this guy is doing left, right and centre.
And I appreciate girls that do that. Now, if it's about a girl who just decides she wants to wear a short top, you can't be calling her a slag. To me, a slag is somebody who's actually doing slaggish things and going around and wait, and I'll say that quite specifically. That means you're calling her out for actually doing. You don't know whether or not she goes around sleeping with whoever. That's an action. A skirt doesn't make you a slag. It's your action.
Lala kind of stated the obvious. A slag is by what you do. It's just a loose word, but people just say it. Like, they might not necessarily mean it. They might see a girl walking down the street with her tits hanging out, and the first thing that comes to their head is slag. They could use another word, but sometimes people just say it just to use some form of derogatory word. But we all know that a girl walking around with her tits hanging out ain't necessarily a slag. However, I ain't gonna lie, when a girl dresses in a certain way, sometimes as a man, you are gonna think that it might be easy food. That's just the truth. In life, you're always gonna have some elements of negativity. If you know that your heart is clean, then who gives a fuck what this woman is doing and what that, if this woman is stripping in a certain way. But I just don't understand why certain women, men do it as well, feel the need to comment on this girl wearing that because they think that a whole bunch of men are gonna think that all women are like that. That's, if a man is ignorant enough to think that, then that's just how it is gonna be anyway. Men do it in a different way. With women, this might sound a bit funny, but women can be really petty in a sense where it's like, oh my god, look at her shoes, look at her feet, whatever. Men, it's more of an ego thing. Sometimes when a guy's come dressed in a certain way and he looks like he's got a little bit of money, sometimes a man thinks to himself, he feels that he's bossy. They'll hate on him in that way.
The analogy, a girl walking down the street, another girl sees her, she might be wearing a low cut top and she goes out and she calls her a slag. That's wrong. Anyone wearing a bloody polar neck t-shirt can be a slag. You can't call out somebody for that reason there. You don't know that person. person. That's totally different to the analogy that Jade gave of her trying to work through an industry that's very male dominated and her not being able to get through certain doors because other stupid women think that they need to flaunt their bodies in order to get there. When you have a brain in your head and if you're sensible enough, you can use that and you can push yourself forward with that. That should be enough. And that's totally different to what Tifa was saying earlier. If you're doing stupid stuff, as the analogy that I gave before, go into a job wearing something that's really inappropriate that you know your bosses aren't gonna like at all, then of course that's just so beyond stupid. I don't understand why you feel you should do that. If you have a brain in your head, you should know how to kind of work your job and work your way up towards a job.
There's this whole stigma that black people from estates are probably gonna be drug dealers or whatever the scenario is. I could then blame that to the other drug dealers right now that are doing the thing like, oh man, you guys are fucking up for us black ambitious brothers that are trying to make something out of a life. Or I could go out there and just make something happen for myself. It derives from a sense of not feeling satisfied with yourself. If you did feel satisfied with yourself, you would just proceed to do what you're doing. I think it'd be better if you just concentrated on the situation at hand and just went with that full throttle. There's gonna be a lot of ignorant men. They're gonna be the ones that obviously trying to bring through the woman that doesn't have to be smart, doesn't have to have a head on her shoulders. Those are the people that choose to mess with those people.
As in, like, you do need to have a head on your shoulders.
That's what I'm saying. So you be that woman.
If you have a brain in your head, which everyone does, then use that shit.
I'm saying, do you know the saying of like be the change? That's my point, innit? If you want to see a change in something, just become that. All this hating and negativity on the negative is only perpetuating the situation. I don't think a girl with a fucking skimpy top or a girl deciding to wear something revealing in the office environment, if that's what she's talking about, is taken away from her seriousness. I don't fucking understand that.
It is hate. You're fucking up the industry because you feel
but they're not fucking up the industry. They're not fucking up the industry. They're doing what they would like to do.
How is that hate? Every girl has a pair of tits. Every girl has an arse. We are not hating on you, but you're making it increasingly difficult for people like me and like Jade to be taken seriously.
I completely agree with Tifa. I completely agree with Lala. What difference is some girl going up on stage and showing her boobs? Is that really specifically gonna have on my life? Probably nothing. But I can understand where somebody who disagrees with that and gets upset and offended by that is coming from, because like I said in the debate, it can on a bigger scale have an effect on people's opinion on females.
You just said yourself, a man will look at a girl and she's
some men, this is my point, it's like we're not all the same. The same way you're not all the same.
But
that's my point.
But you said the same thing. You said women need to be careful when they go out there and make sure that they've got certain things on, they're dressed in a certain way. Most men think in a negative way about a woman when they see her dressed.
But that's the same way I was saying. That's the same.
So why would it be any different if you go into the world of work?
I understand a lot of men have that opinion. The same way there's a lot of white guys that look at me like a fucking nignog. But I am not gonna generalize every fucking white person. That's the point of it. Like, some men are gonna look at females like fucking meat, but those are those guys. Maybe work on changing those guys' minds. But I don't think you're gonna change their mind by attacking the fucking females that they're attacking. You know what I'm saying? It almost doesn't make no sense when you look at it like that. I'm gonna say that to you. I'm gonna give you the answer. The same way I would say, you know what, dude? If you go down those manners, yeah, you might need to watch out because certain men over there are going on fuckery. The same way I'll say to the female wearing a low-cut skirt. It's that same principles. You know what I'm saying to you?
That she's gonna show her to further her. That's fine then. Do not bitch and complain when the man that you've got to work next to you starts to not take you seriously. And that same man is not gonna take me or Jay seriously, even though we're fully.
But I'm saying, look,
you know what though? I know that Tifa is very much pro-choice and very, you shouldn't be attacking her, and it's not an attack. It is what it is. You are an idiot if that's what you're doing. The same way they've got freedom of choice to kind of wear that, and you can. I have freedom of choice to state the obvious, that you're an idiot if you do that.
It's not just about the workplace though, it's naturally. When you're out on the road, you could be with a group of girls, there's another set of group of girls over there, and then you have a group of girls who feel the need to comment on these girls and the way that they're wearing. Purely because they're thinking, all guys are gonna look at us like this. Who gives a fuck? If you know that you're not like that, who gives a shit?
All this live and let live nonsense, it's ridiculous. I'm a realist. I'm not one of those people who just think, oh, it's okay, it's fine. Because if you want to get on in life, then you know what you need to be doing. That's what you're doing outside of your workplace. No, it does matter, and I'll tell you for why. Well, you would say that you're a man, so you don't know what it's like to work as a female. Well, you can say that, and I can say that from my point of view.
I understood what Lala was saying. Obviously, she was talking about this whole going for a job interview thing and people not taking you serious or whatnot. But I kind of stand by what Tifa is saying, because at the end of the day, it shouldn't really kind of take away too much about what you're doing. And on top of that, why would you feel the need to comment if she's not your brethren? If that's not your bona fide, you ain't got no reason to say nothing. You could just keep it quiet, and hopefully in those sort of situations you should really gain from it anyway. It's only your employee that's a dickhead if he just chooses to take the foolish option, isn't it?
Because it's not generalisation. It is more based on generalisation.
That's ridiculous.
When men concurrently get paid more for doing the same jobs, the playing field isn't the same. So right about now, if you're in the work work environment, you need to be taken seriously.
That whole thing of like males and females are paid differently, I understand that, and yes, you should be fighting for equal rights. You shouldn't be fighting for a female not wearing a fucking revealing top. The fight should be for humans in general. The fight should be equality all around the border. I don't agree with this singling people out and trying to say they're fucking up the game. You're fucking up the game here, you're fucking up. You need to go to the fucking problem and attack the fucking problem.
If you're working with men, of course you need to be taken seriously. You can't have girls flaunting themselves and acting a certain way, and then me, I've got to come in after that same said chick and have that same idiot man looking at me in the same said way.
But that's that idiot man's fault. That guy's an idiot.
But I'm that person that's got to fight against that because of what this girl has done. So she's made it hard.
Lala and Teeth, it popped right off. Right off.
Oh my gosh, why? I got a bit scared at one point. I think me and Chucky just kind of backed up and let them, you know, have their little discussion. I don't care, okay, specifically about that girl who wants to get up on stage and flash her boobs. Good for her. She clearly had a great time. She clearly is a very fun person, but I understand the point of view where someone will be upset about that. The industry that they're in is most probably the same industry that person is in, and like Lala was saying, you have to try and be taken seriously, and it is hard for females. I think I'm probably just gonna sit on the fence with that one, because as much as I wouldn't say to the female, you know, you're an idiot for doing that, da da da, I also do have an opinion that, you know, sometimes stuff like that, it does affect things on a larger scale.
I get what you're saying about it making it difficult for you for whatever reason, but you can also look at things like it being difficult for black people in any industry that we're trying to move in. You can't complain about it, because at the end of the day, that's just the way it is, isn't it? We have to just beat that change, innit? No. You beat the change.
If something is wrong and just irresponsible and just not right, then of course you should speak up and you should say something about it. I don't have this thing where, you know, live and let live. This world should have ended a long time ago if people just wanted to walk around and do what they wanted to do. You should be sensible about what you're doing and how you approach your life.
I know there's girls out there that will do things that you girls won't do. I'm not seeing you the same as those girls. You lot need to stop seeing each other the same as well.
You need to understand that there are men out there that, regardless of whether I'm dressed or she's not dressed, will look at us in exactly the same fucking way. A flipping piece of meat, and that is the general consensus.
Yeah, that's how
and we have to. No, so what? We don't say nothing. We should be okay with that.
No, you don't say anything to the other girl. You conduct yourself how you want to conduct yourself, and you let them conduct themselves how they want to conduct themselves. I guess the reason why me and Lala had such a heated clash, yeah, we just both have strong opinions in that field. People like to focus on other people too much, but then I think that breeds negativity. In a situation where there's no negativity present, it's just more a case of how people decide to conduct themselves. I don't understand why people decide to look for the negative in people's behaviours. Females should just get on with the fucking job.
The girl that's not dressed in a very modest way and she gets attacked or she gets some sort of, you know, response from the guy that she ain't feeling, she can't fucking complain.
Wait, no,
can she complain?
Sorry, I missed that. It's all love, by the way. Just want to let you know. Obviously, you're having a conversation, you got to be as honest and passionate as you can.
You said urban music is like black music. I was under the impression that urban music was street music. I didn't think it was actually a colour. Well, I thought street music is just like when you describe even clothes, like urban fashion, streetwear. I just think it's more what's come from the roads. It doesn't really matter what colour it is.
My Tiny Temper, Tinchy Strider started rapping because of, say, Nas, Jay-Z. I think they more looked at people like So Solid, Pay As You Go.
Lala and Teeth, it popped right off.